Welcome everyone to Living the Zolkeen. It's Six Serpent, and this is One Dog Steve and Three Seed Mitch, your loyal hosts. And today we have a very special guest. Her name is Madeline, and she comes to us from MayanMagics.com. That's Mayan, MAJIX.com. On there you can follow the Zolkeen calendar daily. They've got a very nice set of descriptions for each tone and glyph, and just a nice illustration as well. There's also an online store where you can order things made by Mayan people, as well as your very own Zolkeen astrology report, which has always been really mind-boggling for me every time I've ordered one for a friend or family member. It's just been spot on, kind of eerie how accurate they are. And they're only $10, so if you're just starting to learn about the Zolkeen and feel like you might be interested in learning more, then Mayan Magics is a great place to start. Well, this is our sixth episode in this format, and we're calling it Living the Zolkeen, and you are our third guest.
Oh, sweet.
We are really happy to hear from you. It's been a long time since we first discovered Ian's work, and Mayan Magics, I think, was where we first landed. And for me, that was 2009. I don't know if it was the same year for...
It's 2008 for me.
Yeah, and that really kicked it off for me. I instantly resonated with what I was seeing, and yeah, like I think we've watched his lectures that are on YouTube, like the whole series, at least like 3 times each one. So yeah, definitely one of the best lectures I've ever seen, and I've gone to a lot of lectures. So yeah.
I agree, and not because I'm prejudiced.
Right.
For all the years that we traveled together and all the lectures that he did do, and I sat and listened every single time newly. Yeah. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. He's just brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. And one thing that I thought was really interesting is that you guys were coming up in our neighborhood. Like you know, when I would watch these videos, you would be on Salt Spring Island or Kamloops or, you know.
Yeah.
That got me. I was like, wow, this is, I see the British Columbia flag in the background. I'm like, no way.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we did. We traveled to Canada on and off for 2 years. And, we spent a lot of time in Salmon Arm.
Oh, wow, yeah.
In BC. Yeah. Friends of ours had a fabulous house there overlooking the Shuswap Lake.
It's a nice lake.
So, oh my gosh, it was awesome. And back then we had a dog, Spirit, and Spirit was a 135-pound Akita Rottweiler mix. And he was just the most incredible dog, and he so was in love with Ian. Just loved Ian. Yeah.
Well, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll get started on some Trecena day sign analysis.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm Madeline, and AKA Maddie, Ian's partner. I share a blog, now an audio blog on Mayan Magics. Mayan Magics started in 1998.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The webmaster for it. In fact, how Mayan Magics got started was Mike did 3D advertising for big companies. They would hire him to do 3D advertising online, and he and Mike and Ian met through a mutual friend. And sitting in a hot tub, Ian was telling Mike his dream about Mayan Magics and he actually hadn't even called it Mayan Magics at that time. Just that his Ian was a sculptor, and he was looking for something unique to do to sculpt. He would sculpt in wax. He loved miniatures. And so he went to the library in Phoenix, and he said this book fell off the shelf, and it was about the Maya. And when the page that opened to the crocodile tree.
Uh-huh.
And so Ian said, I'm going to sculpt this. And he did, and he made a mold and then casted it in silver. And it's only about maybe an inch, maybe a little more than an inch long. The intricacies of the detailed work that this man put into his pieces are breathtaking.
Wow.
He sculpted the winged serpent, and he created it in such a way that he literally made a pipe out of it, out of sterling silver.
He made a pipe out of it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about smoking sacred herb out of that thing.
I'd like to hit that. That's what I was thinking.
Well, come on down, Paul. Come on down.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. There's probably either 8 or 10 of them in the world, and I have 2.
Nice. Why don't you maybe tell us a little bit about Ian and some of his work? Yeah, just how it progressed through the years and how it got to the point of you guys being on the road and trying to spread the knowledge.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it started with him sculpting the crocodile tree, and he said as he was sculpting, he would get downloaded information. He would hear things, and he would write them down. And he became obsessed with sculpting, which is not a bad obsession. And as the more he sculpted, the more information that came to him. So he found Jose Arguelles, and he thought he hit pay dirt when he found Jose Arguelles. And so being that Jose didn't know what to do with February 29th every 4 years, he just dropped it out because he didn't know what to do with it. And when the Maya got wind of Jose speaking about his work as the Mayan, they were not very happy. So, yeah, really. So Ian had made, through Jose's count, made glyphs and the calendar, or the codex, and he showed it to a Mayan shaman, and the Mayan shaman said that is not a true count. So Ian went and he bought back all of the codexes that he had sold to people, because he was in that state. And then he was flying home, and he said it was like a lightning that went through the top of his head, and he knew how to convert the Gregorian calendar to the Mayan calendar. For 500 years, it could not be deciphered.
It was Ian that did it.
Ian that did it, yes.
No way.
So when he put it all together, and he was weary because of the first go around, so he went to Guatemala and spoke with the Mayan elders, and the Mayan elders confirmed that yes, this is the true count. My whole body, I've repeated this story, and every time my body just vibrates.
Yeah, no, that is a very powerful discovery. That is amazing. I had no idea, actually.
Yeah, well, people don't. And because when he did the first round of codexes, I think he did about 5,000 of them or something, he had promised Itzamna, who crazy story. In Mexico, Ian was standing on the top of a hill where he had been told that Itzamna had, what word am I looking for here? Appeared.
Okay.
Itzamna hadn't been in physical. Yet he was a priest that the Maya represent. He was the representative of the Maya Itzamna. So Ian is standing. I wasn't there. I hadn't met him yet. I'm going to take a swallow of water. Okay, so he's standing on the top of the hill, and he's holding the codexes in his hand, and he is screaming. He said, I am screaming on the top of my lungs. Itzamna, you get your ass down here, because I am your man. I am your man that is going to share the truth about your culture. And he said he didn't let up. And he said all of a sudden, two energy fields showed up. But he said they were visible energy fields, and they were dark. And they didn't stand next to each other. They were about 3 feet away from one another, but parallel. He said, and then all of a sudden, this other energy field comes in between, who is bright light, and it's Itzamna. And Ian spoke with him and said to him, I am your man, and I will give these away so the world can know the truth. And if you have one of the older codexes, Ian's name is nowhere on it. And if you have a codex, what's written on the back, Ian wrote. And after the originals were gone, and Mike reproduced some more, he had put in memory of Ian Schoengold on the back. So the new ones do have Ian's name.
I had one of those at one point. I'm not sure where it is now. I actually gave one away to a Mayan girl who is unaware of the Mayan calendar and who lives in Canada now. I always liked those cardboard cutout codices because it's like a physical thing. It's great to have it. Yeah.
Well, that story, coming back to that, I didn't actually expect you to tell that story. I didn't even know about it. But like that story it changed so many people's lives.
Yes. Yes.
Like that was the beginning of a snowball that just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
I have a friend in New Zealand who is my friend from Mayan Magics. I have never met him in real time. When he contacted me the first time, probably 7 or 8 years ago, he said that by watching Ian's presentation, it literally altered his whole perception of how he was going to live his life. And he's right now 84 years old.
Wow. An old guy.
An old guy.
That's amazing. Yeah, like, I won't get into my story now, but I just basically, I ran into this thing when I was 22, and it was just the right time. I basically, was kind of standing on the edge of a cliff going, show me. That's kind of where I was kind of asking to see something. And that's what I saw. And I was like, whoa, wow, no way. I couldn't believe it, and nobody else could either. And, I just started doing it day by day. That's all I really did, day by day by day. And never looked back, and my life has been a wild and wonderful adventure ever since.
Awesome. Congratulations.
It blew the lid off the jar, like completely, and it started with a presentation, but after that it really just ended up being just the Tzolk'in itself, day by day.
That's right. Yeah, I still part of my life. I mean, it's just my life. It's sundown. It starts the new cycle.
Right.
It's 8 deer. Starts a new cycle at sundown tonight. Yeah.
How many thousands of people do you think have been affected by that? You know, that one moment.
Tens of thousands, probably, and hopefully tens of thousands.
Okay. Well, I mean, my vision for the future is that, you know, this just becomes common knowledge.
Right. Exactly. And, it's walking who we believe to be, and when you know in your heart that you're God, because everything is God, everything is Gaia. There's no separation from anything, and when everybody gets that, I'm like, what's the deal? You know, I 2 years ago, I started a Smile Club. That's something that I doodled. So now I walk around and I give people invitations to our Smile Club. I've shared over 5,600 invitations all by myself. Our motto is, we're going to heal our world one smile at a time.
There's something powerful about a smile. Like if you go to a grocery store or some lower end store and you see somebody working at the cash who you know is getting paid too little for their time, but they still manage to wear a genuine smile, that kind of thing can change the day for me, you know?
Oh, absolutely. When I'm out and about, my smile doesn't leave my face, and I don't even think about it. It's just there.
I just want to say, for anyone who might listen to this in the future, the lectures are on YouTube, Ian Lungold. They're called Mayan Calendar Comes North. They're all great, and when I first saw them, I was completely blown away. And it really starts off with like questions that are not necessarily related to the Tzolk'in, but they are at the same time once you learn what the Tzolk'in is. And those questions like, why do we track time the way we do? Who agreed on that? And why do we never talk about it and things like that? I mean, these were questions that I guess subconsciously always had, but never really discussed with anyone or noticed anyone else discussing. And that was really one of the things that sucked me in, and I just had to keep watching to the very end. And yeah, I mean, his presentation definitely helped cement the calendar for me in terms of daily importance. And yeah, we have a couple friends over here that I would call day keepers as well. But yeah, I mean, we just started this podcast because we didn't see anyone else doing it, and we felt
that's the perfect reason. That's the perfect reason. Nobody else was doing it. Like my Smile Club. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and we've been in contact with some people who are deeper into the rabbit hole, as you might say, than we are, and we're just wanting to reach out to all those people now that we finally have a medium with which to channel this energy, this material, and hopefully spread awareness, because we're in a time where, I mean, there never is a better time than now, obviously, but I think the world really needs a dose of common sense, and I think that comes from nature and the truth behind the Tzolk'in.
Good. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have listened to my audio blog.
I wasn't aware that you had one, but is it on the Mayan Magic's website?
It sure is.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Good.
Yeah, I've read some of your journal, like Maddie's journal. I've read some of those journal entries.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's interesting because when I got when I got the Windows 10 and got the ability to do these audios, I decided that I was going to do my audio blog instead of a written blog, and I find my clarity is so much grander when I speak than when I write. Stuff has been coming through about our way of communication, because when I'm invited to go and speak at groups, and they ask me what my title is, and it's The Evolution of Consciousness. What the hell does that mean? Well, the evolution of consciousness is the way we communicate.
Yeah.
So, the thing is that we've completed a 26,000-year cycle. Completed it. It's like when Ian says every 52 tunes, all the fires went out, and all the debt was forgiven, blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. It's perfect. Yes, yes, yes. 26,000-year cycle complete. So if each of us could imagine that we are born right here, right now, yes, with the consciousness that we have, but the consciousness that has debilitated people, it is left in the old 26,000-year cycle. To understand within each soul that how we speak with one another, the words that are used are so imperative, they're so powerful that using words what I say is, when you speak, are you empowering yourself and empowering the space you're speaking into? Because if that question is answered other than absolutely, then rethink the words you're saying.
Wow.
Absolutely rethink the words you're saying. And never, ever, ever use disempowering words. Never ask for what you don't want. Always ask for what you want.
Well, there's
I am healthy. I will remain healthy.
What's that book that is the Toltec wisdom, like five ways of knowing something about, like, only using positive language and not making assumptions, and
the Four Agreements.
The Four Agreements, yeah. That book is great.
Awesome.
I've tried to employ that in some personal relationships, but I have a feeling that some people are more kind of caught in that old way of thinking and are having more trouble moving into this evolution, as you say, of consciousness than other people.
Well, I think it's we're an interesting group of humans because, like, we have one foot in the old and one foot in the new. So we're the bridge,
Yeah.
We're the transitionary group. We get to be that group. Okay. So the next thing I'd like to ask you about is, because you talked about the Tzolk'in, and the inspiration for the conversion. Had anybody ever come up with a way to convert the two calendars before, or that was the very first time?
No, Ian was the first one.
That is absolutely astounding.
Yeah.
That is astounding.
I totally agree. And when he got it, like I said, he got downloaded. He dismissed it. He said it can't be that easy. It can't be that easy. So he had to go to Guatemala to prove it to himself.
Was there some kind of like golden ratio to be used, or?
No. Everyone, if you look at the codex, the number 1 starts in March.
Okay.
And when in the past, when archaeologists looked to convert it, the mine took them to January. So it never worked out ever.
So it starts in March.
The number 1.
Yeah.
When you do your birthday, you add the numbers together from the year and the month. I mean, the month and the day, and then the year. And then you add them together, and if it's over 260, you subtract 260. And then you get your Mayan birthday from that.
That's absolutely amazing, because it's kind of like this compass of who are you. And
yeah.
I mean, it's changed the way that I look at reality. Like, every single person I meet, is a different Noel, and that's how I see them.
Yeah.
And the
A
family.
different aspect of the self.
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's so it shouldn't be that easy. Just like you said, like it shouldn't be that easy. That I'm like, hey, what day are you born? Oh yeah, okay, you're Wisdom. I know you. How's it going, Wisdom? Like, and then I look at this person, and I try to see them, almost for their essence.
Right.
You know?
Good.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. Okay, so we talked about the Zolkeen thing, which is absolutely amazing, and I didn't know that. So where does Carl Coleman enter the picture?
When Ian was in Mexico and wanting to make sure that the calendar was good, someone had gotten a hold of the codex. Carl Coleman was in Sweden, and Carl had been studying the Mayan culture and teaching at the school. He was a professor, and he actually got fired because they did not want him teaching that information.
Native American culture.
Because someone sent Carl Ian's codex, and Carl got unbeknownst to Ian, and Carl contacted Ian. Carl told Ian that he had just written a book called Solving the Greatest Mystery of Our Time, the Mayan Calendar. So Ian invited him to Mexico, and he accepted the invitation. So they were there for 4 months trying to get, and I don't use that word very often, trying, because you can't try.
Sure.
Yeah. But the thing is that they pounded the pavements and wanted to get Carl's book published, and because neither one of them were Mexican, there was no doors open for them, none. So Carl went back to Sweden, and then Ian ran out of money, so he made enough jewelry for him to sell himself to get back to the U.S., and he came to Sedona, and that's where we met.
So you met him after the Carl Coleman episode?
Right.
And are you in Sedona now?
Outside of Sedona, yes. 17 miles from Sedona, yeah.
Oh, very cool. I've not yet made it there. It's been referenced too many times for me to ignore. Sometime I'll have to come down.
Let me know. I'm a good tour guide.
Wow, thank you very much. I'm in Japan right now, so I'm kind of far.
Well, join the crowd. None of us have any money right now. It's okay.
That never seemed to be a problem before, so I can't see why it will be a problem, later.
It won't be a problem. Carl and Ian?
Yes.
No. Carl went back to Sweden, so just Ian was doing lectures. And he used a lot of the information from Carl's book, and he also used a lot of his own intuition information and also historical stuff, that correlated with timelines and such, where that was all Ian. No. And then Ian and I went to Sweden. Carl invited us to Sweden, so we went to Sweden. We were there for 7 weeks, and we traveled around Sweden, Copenhagen, all over, and doing presentations. Carl wanted Ian to do the presentations because Carl was not the speaker, and he was very boring and very dry, and so we had a great time.
Wow! And so then the lecture was born. Wow. Yeah, that's basically, we came in, we caught wind of those lectures, probably years down the line. When were they doing the lectures? 2000?
2003, 4, and 3 and 4.
Okay.
The one from Whitehorse was in 4 when we left Sedona and traveled all the way. We traveled to the Yukon and worked our way back down and ended up in Salmon Arm. So we did lectures all the way through. The one at Whitehorse that was the only one that was professionally videoed. Everything else was done by friends.
How was the response? Like, before and after the taping, like how was it?
We never had large crowds. If we had 60, that was like, wow. We never had large crowds.
Okay.
It was really interesting. That, again, everything is always timing. I have a really cute story about doing a presentation as we were traveling. We let people know where we were, and if they wanted to come and do a talk, we would. And so this one family called us and said, "You're going to be in our neighborhood. Will you come and we'll invite some people over?" It's like, yeah, sure. And so it was her and her husband and 2 teenage kids and I think 3 other people. And it didn't matter. I mean, I've seen him do a presentation literally with 1 man in a hotel room. When he talked about the generation gap.
Yeah.
Remember that? Well, after the talk, the teenage girl, who I don't think she was more than 14, she wanted to crawl into Ian. She was so excited to hear about the generation gap, to recognize that her parents knew nothing compared to her. And it freed her and her brother. It was so gorgeous that these 2 kids got it to the depths of their soul. It was like, wow. They were so excited. We gave them a freedom. It's like, yeah, our parents had their consciousness is totally different than our consciousness.
Yeah.
And you gotta give each other a break. Really. Like, come on.
So, I like how you described that girl's reaction, because that basically was my reaction as well.
Oh, that's cool.
I ran into it when I was 22, so I was just kind of still a kid in many ways, and just basically almost like getting a roadmap. Somebody's like,
yeah, exactly.
It's going to be like this, and don't worry about that, and that's fine. And it just, oh my gosh, and it just took all this weight off my shoulders, because I could see the territory for the first time.
And
then the talk really kind of, it's a really interesting theory. Like it explains sort of how time works,
right.
Yeah, or like it tries to explain this idea that everything's getting faster, and as soon as I could wrap my head around that, I could kind of just let go and relax a little bit.
Good. Time is an illusion.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah, it's very interesting. And like the idea, like even still, like even though for example, in the talk, they build it all the way up to October in 2011. I was carefully watching that for the maybe 3 years that I had before that time. So I found it right before then, and it was really interesting. And even after that, the idea of things are just going to continue to speed up, and that type of concept, it still, I find it still applies really, really well.
It does. Yes, it does apply. It applies every day, and to be present to everything, knowing that everything that appears in your life is a gift.
Yeah.
So that whatever it is that shows up, it's like the other day, Melanie, my soul sister that I live with, and we were talking about something and triggered. It's like, when we get triggered, and she said, it's all for our entertainment. If everything was status quo all the time, it would be really boring. And so the emotions that are experienced is for our entertainment. You want to have a good time with it? Doesn't matter. I mean, you could be pissed off and want to punch somebody's lights out, but you can still enjoy the experience and the gift that's being presented. And it's really trippy. A couple of years ago, I woke up in the morning and I couldn't get out of bed. Fast forward, I was diagnosed with this thing in my body. And for the next year, I was the observer. I couldn't lift my arm over my head. I couldn't pick up my coffee cup unless I used two hands. I mean, it was really a trippy time. And I would look at my body and say to my body, wow, look what you could do. This is amazing. This is tripping me out. And then I would just, send it love. I love you. I rub my arm, or I love, wherever my body was doing whatever it wanted to do. I rub it and I say, I love you. I love you. I love you.
That's really helpful for healing, isn't it?
Everything is available. It's just what you're paying attention to. Like Ian says, what you pay attention to, you become conscious of.
Yeah.
You got a million good quotes from that guy.
Oh, yeah. When we were driving in Canada and he'd be speaking, and I'd say, whoa, I can't write that fast. You got to stop slower. Jeez.
I can imagine.
Oh, I'm really grateful that he was able to get on tape as much as he did.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so this podcast is, called Living the Tzolk'in, and one of the things that we do is we talk about the Tzolk'in of the day, like today, and maybe the week that we're in as well. So, do you want to give us a breakdown of, you're at 8 deer right now? Is that right?
Yeah, we're at 8 deer, yeah.
Okay, do you want to give us a breakdown of 8 deer? Would you do us the honor?
Sure.
All right.
Well, 8 is justice, and its harmony, balance are the intent of 8. 8s carefully weigh all evidence to reach a balance of justice. 8 is the power of organization, demonstrating in the statement as above, so below, from simplicity to infinity. The energy of 8 organizes all levels of creation. And deer, Minup, handiness with all kinds of tools and a peaceful, generous, cooperative energy flows today. This is a great day for service to your community. Quality of work will be most important and appreciated by others. Yeah, and the color is blue. And on the wheel, it goes counterclockwise. You guys need to have a codex. This is silly. I'll have to send you a codex. You have to send me your address or something.
Yeah, I love one.
Yeah, autograph it.
Yeah.
All right.
Autograph
send me your address. Send me your address. I'll send you some. So today is a blue day, and it's west. And because I'm serpent, I'm red. And so in the Oracle of Directions, the red and the blue is a challenge and strengthen day. Tomorrow, the next 24 hours, is a yellow day of star. And so between the red and the yellow, it's a surprise and mystery day. Now this is fascinating because Ian was sun, tall sun, and I'm red, he's yellow. Our entire relationship is surprise and mystery. It's trippy.
You're a snake or serpent. What number?
6.
6.
I just had my Mayan birthday 2 days ago.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Well,
I like it. It happens every 260 days. It's much more fun to have more of them.
Yeah, it's way more frequent.
Yeah.
And you don't count them. It's not. You don't get a higher number with it. It's just a great day.
Oh, yeah, it's just a great day.
Yeah.
Great day, very great.
I just wanted to say, thank you so much for telling your story and being able to share with us on the medium.
You're welcome. I have some awesome stories. I have a story that very few people know about after he died.
Please share it.
Oh, it's long, so it'll be another time.
Okay, sure. I would definitely. It's been really great meeting you, and I would love to chat again sometime.
Absolutely, you have my phone number anytime. I love it. I do. Yeah, listen to my audio, please. Listen to my audio blog, and you'll get a broader view of who I am by the words that I use to express certain things. Like I did one about. Did you ever see the movie The Truman Show?
Yeah.
Yeah, when it first came out in like 89 or 98 or something like that. Watch it again, because I talked about The Truman Show in one of the last vlogs that I did, and it's very fascinating. Very fascinating.
Sometimes I think I live in The Truman Show.
Sorry, Steve?
Sometimes I think I live in The Truman Show.
Yeah, and most people do, but they don't know it. And even if they did know it, they would be okay with it because they're comfortable. People like to be comfortable. We all like to be comfortable.
Yeah.
But the most exciting things happen when you're not comfortable. That's why people go bungee jumping and skydiving and driving fast and doing all that great stuff, because it's a rush.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
Well,
people are boring. People are boring out in the world. They just don't want to do anything. No, you go. Let me know how it was. Like, really? Come on.
Yeah, send me a text message, like, with a video in it or something, you know?
I have an old phone. I can't do that.
No, I was just saying, like, these days people would rather just watch somebody else live their life through a screen as opposed to, like, doing something, in their own life.
Right. Sorry, misunderstood you. Yes. Yeah. That's like, a whole group of people sitting around in a restaurant, and they're all on their iPhones or whatever. There's no communication going.
It's rather sickening to see where we're going, and it seems like it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And that was part of the the problem that I had was, I learned about the calendar in 2009, and I followed it and learned more and more, and I watched the lectures, and all this 2012 stuff was getting so hyped up, and then 2012 happened, and it seemed like not a whole lot of progress has been made since then. And instead, it looks like we're going further in the wrong direction, but maybe that's where we need to go in order for things to get better.
There is only perfection. And what I say about God is God doesn't make junk.
Yeah.
And so everything truly is in divine order. And when you look at where we had been in our communication, and for me, because I grew up with a telephone that was attached to the wall, and in fact, when I was really little, we had a party line, which means we didn't have our own. We had our own phone number, but we had a party line. So if the other two people were on the phone, we couldn't use the phone. And so the progress of the technology is fabulous. I mean, it's fabulous. And each step is bringing us closer to our birthright, which is we have been dumbed down to the point where we're now awakening to our divine, godlike possessions, which is we're able to teleport ourselves, telepathy, all that is there. And so the communication that has been going on for the last 100 years is bringing us closer and closer back to like I said, our divine birthright. So it's all good. It's really all good.
That's an interesting perspective on it, and I just have like so many more questions about like how Ian ever managed to convert the Tzolk'in to, or convert the Gregorian dates to Tzolk'in dates, but also just the Mayan astrology reports that you guys offer as well. I mean, I've ordered at least 5 or 6 of those over the years, and they're always just like eerily accurate, like just so precise. Like, how do you even do that? It's just amazing.
It's computer generated. That is computer generated.
But the write-ups, it seems like, you know, somebody has like known this person their whole life, and they're able to just like generate it, you know, based on the conversion ratio, whatever that is, of the Gregorian date. And yeah, those have always been pretty trippy to me. Be continued for the next episode.
Continued, for sure. Okay, goodbye. I can keep going on and on and on. Bye. Good night. I love you.
All right. Thanks so much for coming on. And this is One Dog Steve, and that's 3 Seed Mitch.
3 Seed Mitch.
And 6 Serpent Maddie. All right. Well, Living the Tzolk'in, signing off. Good night, everyone.